Hi, boys and girls.
We're at our test facility and storage lot. Let's see where we're driving this week. I was hoping for another Lexus, but who knows, maybe I'll get lucky. Well, not a Lexus, a Toyota. Comes from the same basic company, so we'll call this the baby Lexus. This is the CHR. Very nice looking vehicle. The CHR is sold as an SUV, which means it should have at least 2 of 3 features that an SUV should have. The first, to have a rear hatch for loading cargo. We have that here. 19 cubic feet of space there. Not that much, but considering the size, that's about average. By the way, look, there is a nice large spare tire under the floor. Comes in handy if you get a flat. Secondly, an SUV should have high ground clearance so you can take it off pavement. We're splitting hairs here at 5.9 inches, but still more than your typical car, so we'll give them a pass. And third, it should have all-wheel drive available, if not standard, for better traction, but you don't get that on the CHR. Front-wheel driven only, so we're getting 2 out of 3. For those interested, this is based on the same platform the Lexus UX rides on, although the engines and transmissions are totally different. It does have some Lexus-type styling, though. This is a very nice-looking car. It gets lots of compliments. But you're also getting style over function. It's kind of cramped in that interior, which we'll be looking at later. By the way, if you're interested in a real Toyota SUV that can really be taken off-road, we drove the Toyota 4Runner TRD for a bit more money, of course. We have a link for that video at the end of this video. If you want something more tame, we tested the Fiat 500X SUV. We have a link for that video as well. On the Lexus, they charge an extra $1,650 for LED headlights. On the Toyota, you're getting LEDs for free. So let's take them out right now and see how they work. It's dark enough. Let's see what these headlights do. And I see we have 3 small bulbs and 1 big one. Here we have the lights on the building 100 feet away. Pretty bright. High beams. Again, pretty bright. And here are the brights on the building 300 feet away. Pretty good illumination. Go to low beam. And it reaches out about 70% of the way on the right and not so much on the left. But good enough for city driving. The rear view camera does pretty good in the dark. Looks sharper than it really is. I use a cheap camera on my end, so things end up being a bit more fuzzier than they are in real life. And I just noticed the headlights swivel in the same direction as the steering wheel. Makes it very handy for taking corners. And that's a feature you usually only get on vehicles in the $50,000 above price level. And headlights that usually cost about $1,600 extra, as on the Lexus vehicles I've had. So, I guess I'll have to give these headlights an A+. So here's what I'd like to know. If we can get these nice LED headlights that swivel with the steering wheel, is standard equipment on a $28,000 Toyota, then why are all these luxury European and Japanese brands charging us an extra $1,600 for the same type of headlights? Because they can. Under the hood, you can get any engine you want, as long as it's the 2-liter, putting out 144 horsepower. Hooked to a CVT automatic transmission. No manuals available as of yet. The fuel economy is rated 27 mpg in the city, 31 on the highway, and 29 overall. And unlike other YouTube testers who just read the numbers off the spec sheet, we take these out in the real world and get the real world fuel economy, and we'll be doing that coming up, so don't go away. I'm going to take a look at the cabin. Let's look at the positive features first. Yes, the seats do fold down on the second row for better storage capability. 39 cubic feet from 19, if I remember my spec sheet right. You can fit 2 adults back here. Sort of. Not for long trips, I would think. A decent sized glove box. The doors go all the way down, so it keeps the rocker panels clean, which are rather narrow, so you will not be getting dirt on your pants when you get in and out. Even though I have lots of sand on it, you can see here, my pants still stay clean, so this is the way it should be. Thank you, Toyota, for getting it right. Some testers have said how cramped it is in the front. Yeah, there's less room, but it's not cramped. It's more like a fighter cockpit. You squeeze in, but once you're in, you fit just fine. The shift knob, if you can see it with all this glare, is very large, easy to operate. Climate control is even simpler. The screen is large enough, but you do get a lot of glare, as you can see. If the sun's behind you, forget it. You won't see a thing on here, but that just seems to be the norm on these screens nowadays, so not much you can do about it. A well-designed gauge cluster with a bit of glare, but not as much as other Toyotas and Lexus vehicles I've driven lately, so I won't complain too much. On the negative side, as I mentioned earlier, style over function, the visibility is not there. Kind of like being in a Chevy Camaro I had not too long ago. But you do get a very well designed and quality rear view camera setup. And you'll need it. Overall, I like the cabin design. The quality materials and workmanship is excellent. I really don't have any complaints. One complaint I've read about by other testers is the location of the second row door handle, which is way up here. And the gripe was little kids can't reach up and open their door. You know what? If the little kid is so short he can't reach this, he probably shouldn't be opening the door by himself anyway. That's my take. But for adults, I think this is pretty cool. I don't have to stoop down. It's right there at eye level. By the way, I'm very impressed with the quality of this paint job. Not only does the color look good, but the way it's applied is excellent. Shines like glass. Maybe they're using the same assembly line as the Lexus nowadays. Like these wheels too. By the way, I did get around looking at the manufacturer's plate. Turns out this is made in Japan and put together by Japanese workers, which explains the excellent quality control that we expect from Toyota. It says so right there. And before I forget, the base price of a CHR is $22,000. This is the limited that's loaded up with everything. And here's your maxed out at everything price tag. As a rule, I don't care for electric power steering systems, but nowadays they're either excellent or they're lousy, and the ones on Toyotas and Lexus are excellent. Good response, good feedback, good feel. I don't think there's going to be any complaints. Anybody need a couch set for their living room? Come on down and pick it up. As we do in all of my videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour. See how the suspension performs on impact. Here comes number one. Wow, I heard it, but didn't really feel it. Number two. This is a short wheelbase, so it's not surprising we're getting the thumping. Number three. And the big nasty one. I better hang on for this one. About the same. I'm surprised the suspension did so poorly on the speed humps, because actually on the pavement it's pretty smooth. And this vehicle is very comfortable to drive. Which only goes to show, you never know. Tests don't always prove everything. Just take the car out in the real world and see what it does. With only 144 horsepower, pulling a vehicle starting weight at 3,300 pounds, this isn't the fastest vehicle on the planet. And it had a CVT automatic transmission, which sucks up a lot of the power. It's definitely not the fastest car on the planet. Or SUV, I'm sorry. Let's give it a 0 to 60 run. I'm not gonna lay any rubber in this baby. Oh yeah, what a powerhouse. Got your stopwatch? 1, 2, 3, go. Almost ran out of road there. We're going to reset the fuel economy gauge to 0, take a short highway trip at 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, 31.8 mpg, around 70 miles per hour. Not bad. I have to say I was slightly disappointed on the fuel economy we got with the CHR, because we had this Toyota Corolla hatchback, which is quite similar, some time ago that we tested, and it got 38 to 39 mpg on the highway. We also tested this Toyota RAV TRD all-wheel drive, a larger SUV with a 203 horsepower engine, got 29 miles to the gallon. We tested this Honda CR-V with a 190 horsepower engine, got 31 miles to the gallon. And we got this Mazda CX-30, 186 horsepower engine, larger SUV, got 30 miles to the gallon. 3 vehicles, a lot larger, a lot more powerful, get around the same mileage as our little CHR. So you would think a lightweight SUV like this with a small 144 horsepower engine would do far, far better, but apparently that's not the case. It is what it is. But hey, it's a Toyota, so it's going to run forever, right? And that's what counts. So what's my take on this after a week of driving? To me, it's an SUV for someone who really doesn't want an SUV, who prefers styling over substance. And it is made in Japan. I'd say it's worth a few bucks. Just think of it as a baby Lexus. Here's a link to other vehicles we tested and did videos on. Just click and watch.